Hey guys, welcome to JTech Radar. This is my LG G3 comparison against the iPhone 6 Plus. This is my LG G3 and I'll be comparing some of the specs against the newly released iPhone 6 Plus. Okay guys, so we're going to start off by comparing the memory. So Apple released the other day that the iPhone 6 Plus will come with a 16GB, a 64GB and 128GB models, whereas the LG G3 only comes with a 16GB and a 32GB model. So it looks like the iPhone will take the round, but the LG G3 has room for an SD card, so the LG G3 will actually be capable of 128GB SD card room, and then adding, if you have a 32GB model, it'll take it up to 160GB, which absolutely smashes the iPhone. And it's obviously SD card, so you can easily add videos and music and photos straight onto your device without the hassle of going into iTunes. Okay guys, so the memory round went to the LG G3. This is now the price round. So we're first moving on to the iPhone 6 Plus. On the Apple website, the iPhone 6 Plus starts out at 16GB model at £620, and the 64GB model £700, 128GB model £789, so just shy of £800 for a phone. The LG G3 16GB starts at £430. And then the 32GB roughly around just shy of £500, but then you can get a 16GB model LG G3 and buy a 128GB SD card off Amazon, so you'll be running 134GB for about £500, which for saying the 128GB model on the iPhone 6 Plus is £789, and the LG G3 with an SD card of 128GB is £500. A £300 saving on a phone is ridiculous for something it's really 50-50, to be honest. Okay guys, the price round went to the LG G3. This is the photo and video round. So to start off with, we are looking at the still front photos. So on the rear and front view cameras on the iPhone and the LG G3. The iPhone 6 Plus has a rear camera of 8 megapixels with a newly updated sensor, which to be honest is a bit pathetic because the last three models all had 8 megapixel cameras as well. The iPhone 5S, the iPhone 5C and the iPhone 4S, which quite frankly, Apple, that's a poor effort. The LG G3 has a rear camera at 4K, so it can shoot 4K photos, 4160 pixels by, I believe it is 3120 pixels. And the iPhone 6 Plus has a front-facing camera of 1.2 megapixels. The LG G3 has a front-facing camera of 2.1 megapixels. So if you enjoy a selfie, then the LG G3 is the phone for you. Alright, now on to the video in specs. So the video in specs of the iPhone 6 Plus is 1080p at 60 frames per second, which is just standard recording specs. Then the slow motion specs of 720p for the iPhone 6 Plus is 240 frames per second, which is pretty good. The LG G3 specs for video shoots at 2160p, so double the iPhone specs, and that shoots that at 30 frames per second. Although it's a bit less frames per second, so you wouldn't be shooting necessarily action videos with it. So sport videos, you'd be shooting with a 1080p camera on the LG G3, which has 60 frames per second, same as the iPhone. The slow motion on the LG G3 is 720p at 120 frames per second, so that's half of the iPhone 6 Plus. But I'm going to give the round to the LG G3 because the awesome camera and the also just awesome videoing. It's double the iPhone specs, literally smashes it straight out of the water again on videoing and photos. Okay, so the screen round. Although this isn't really part of the screen round, I'm going to do it anyway. I'm just going to compare the weights of the phone. So the iPhone 6 Plus weighs in at 172 grams, whereas the LG G3 weighs in at 149 grams. making a 23 grams difference, which is probably considerable to an extent that you'll probably notice it if you hold them both in your hands. Although it's hard to say until the iPhone 6 Plus actually gets released. Alright, now onto the screens then. So I'm going to be comparing the LG G3 screen against the iPhone 6 Plus's screen. So the iPhone 6 Plus starts out at a 1920 pixels by 1008 pixels, giving it a pixel density of 401 pixels per inch, which is the same as a Galaxy S5, I believe, which is pretty much laughable compared to the LG G3's monster of a screen, which is 4000. It's basically a 2K display, so it's 2560 pixels by 1440 pixels, giving it a pixel density of 534 pixels per inch, I believe. So you can really notice the difference between other phones. So you can just see the colours in the LG G3 just so much more. It's just so like vibrant. It's really good because I know someone with an S5, and I put my phone next to their phone, and it made their phone look outdated basically. That's the quality of the screen, and it can really bring out all the photos that it takes on it. So it takes on 4K photos. They look absolutely awesome on the screen. But on the iPhone, it's hard to say what the screen's going to actually look like. Although it's a Retina display, it will still look good. And a lot of Apple fanboys will be like, "Oh, this is amazing! This is amazing! Best screen ever." But really, they haven't actually tested many screens. So I'm going to give that round to the LG G3 for its absolute monster screen. There's no way I could even give that round to the iPhone whatsoever, because it just absolutely smashed it straight out of the water yet again. Okay guys, on to the power round. Apple starts off with their iPhone 6 Plus with a 1.4 GHz dual-core processor built into the iPhone 6 Plus. The LG G3 has a 2.5 GHz quad-core processor. So even then, that's basically like double, effectively, not quite, but so then on to RAM. The iPhone is rumoured to have a 1GB bit of RAM, and the LG G3 has a 2 gig model of RAM and a 3 gig model, depending on whether you buy the 16 gig or the 32 gig models respectively. So if you do buy the 32 gig model, you then get a benefit of obviously extra memory as well as another gig of RAM, effectively. Onto the batteries. So the LG G3, as you can see, has a removable battery, which is a massive plus for me, because I go away a lot, and sometimes if you're in like remote areas and you can't get the right adapters for your phone, or so like to plug into the wall, you can always carry a spare battery. You can always just whack it in the phone, whereas you can't do that on the iPhone. So that's a massive negative. Both batteries, I think, on the it's rumoured to have a 3000 milliamp power battery it is in the G3, and then in the iPhone it's rumoured. But that round, it's definitely going to have to go to the G3 for the specs on the CPU. So it absolutely smashes it with a quad-core processor as opposed to the dual-core processor and the removable battery. So yeah, that's it for the power round. Okay guys, so we're moving on to the conclusion and other features section now. So the other features section, I'll start off with the unlocking. So the iPhone features a touch recognition, biometric thumbprint or fingerprint scanner on the home button, which works really well in the iPhone 5S. The LG G3 also has a few other options. It has, say, facial recognition. So I'll show you this one. So there we go, and it's identified my face already and unlocked the phone. So I'll try it again. There we go, did it straight away. You can also improve the face matching. So if you wear glasses, you just keep like recalibrating it effectively. The LG G3 also has a few other unlock features, such as the knock code. So you tap on the phone, different places, it unlocks a phone. Pattern code, pin code, number code. I'm sure the iPhone 6 Plus also has a few other ones. Alright guys, and so other features then, the iPhone against the LG G3. The software in the iPhone 6 Plus is obviously iOS, which will be the iOS 8, which I've already tried on my iPhone 4S as a developer. As I got the developer edition thing, on the iOS 8 software, so I got it early. I've tried that, it's really nice, quite intuitive. Whereas the LG G3 uses Android KitKat, which is also very good, very customisable, third-party keyboards. The LG G3 also has wireless charging, which the not iOS 8. The iPhone doesn't have wireless charging. The iPhone has a lot of, well, what they massively advertised was wireless payment, which actually phones have had wireless payment called NFC for years. It started out on the Nexus 4 that had NFC, that could have paid wirelessly. So literally, Apple are living 2 years behind. So the specs that have been just the standalone iPhone 6 are exactly the same as the Nexus 4, which is 2 years old. I think that was 2012 that got released, and then 2013 Nexus 5. So yeah, like the iPhone 6 is the same pixels per inch as the Nexus 4, which is pretty pathetic, really. To be honest, in my personal opinion and my conclusion of the whole video is that if it was my money I was spending, I wanted a good phone that could play games easy, could load them up, wouldn't stutter, wouldn't lag, could get lots of memory for quite cheap. You can exchange the battery on the LGs. You swap out the SD cards for multiple SD cards. Lots of different features, but it's down to personal preference really. But if it was my money, I'd buy the LG G3. I've got one, and I have bought one. I was going to wait until the iPhone 6 to see what it looked like, and I heard some rumoured specs, and I couldn't be bothered to wait. I got mine for $430. It's a 16 gig model, 2 gig of RAM. I haven't got an SD card inside it. I haven't needed it. So yeah, thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, like the video if you've liked it, disliked it if you disliked it. Thanks for watching.